Firearm instructors across the country are guilty of selling classes. I'm going to show you 2 points in this video today that come directly from my H30K Method marketing book. This is the book that all firearm instructors need in order to grow their business and build a transformational business and build a movement instead of a business. This is the book that you need. I've trained over 30,000 students in firearm safety. I built $1 million training brand from a tiny backyard shooting range in my tiny little town. And in this video, I'm going to show you 2 of the points that brought me there. Point number 1 that we're going to talk about is give them a transformation. Point number 2 we're going to talk about is we need to give them a journey. So we are all guilty as firearm instructors of selling a class. And we need to stop selling classes and start selling a transformation. What I mean by that is that if we are selling a trip to Hawaii, and I'm going to draw Hawaii right here. These are all of the islands of Hawaii. I know I'm an amazing art guy. And what we are doing is we're selling this trip to Hawaii. In order for us to do that, we need to sell the transformation. As instructors, when we're selling a class, what we are selling is the plane ride. And here's my airplane here. And we can see, right, this is my airplane. And so what I mean by that is that when we run ads or we tell people, we've got a class, join my class, get a discount off my class, we're selling that airplane ride to Hawaii. We're not selling where they're going to be. So if I wanted to sell a trip to Hawaii, what I need to do is I need to tell people what it's going to be like when they're in Hawaii. We're going to say things like, imagine what it's like to no longer be stressed about work. Imagine what it's like to feel so relaxed with your family and have that bonding time that you don't get in front of screens at home. We need to sell the journey. We need to sell the transformation, rather. We need to sell what it's going to be like when they are in Hawaii. When we are selling a class, we're only selling the airplane ride. In order to understand selling transformation, we first need to break down what a transformation is. As firearm instructors, when our students see our ad on Facebook or they hear about our ad or they hear about our business from a friend, they are right here. That's where they are before they've engaged with your business. Where they want to be is here. And how they get there is your class. This is a transformational process. How they get from here to here is a transformation. And what we need to do is speak to where they are now and where they're going to be. The way that looks is, hey, new shooters, I know it feels uncomfortable going to shooting range and getting yelled at by range safety officers. Where you're going to be after this class is you're going to be able to go to the range confidently. You won't get yelled at by the range safety officer. You'll know exactly what you're doing and you'll feel proud and confident when you walk into the range. Or going a step deeper. Hey student, I know that when you leave work late at night, you're worried about that car ride on the way home. And so where I want you to be is I want you to feel comfortable and confident when you leave work. Even if it's 2 a.m., even if it's dark and pouring out, even if you're in a parking garage, a dark, dingy parking garage, I want you to feel safe, confident, comfortable. And how are you going to get there? Well, on Saturday at noon, we've got XYZ class. We change our marketing from being, hey, we've got a class on Saturday at noon, come join because it's $50 off or whatever, to, hey, moms, I want you to be carrying and confident. I want your kids to know that you've got their back, right? We talk about where they're going to be. We give them a transformation in our marketing language. That's how we stop selling the airplane ride and then start selling the destination. And there's another element that we mess up as firearm instructors. What I mean by that is we are all guilty of selling classes, not selling the journey. Okay, so I just talked about how we're guilty of selling classes, not the transformation. Now I'm going to talk about how we're selling classes, not the journey. So when we think about karate, where do people start when they start karate? What color belt? Well, we all know they start with a white belt. And where do they end? With a black belt. So I'm going to list that on the board here. They start as a white belt and where they end up is a black belt. So we got to ask ourselves, how many people start karate and they just want to be a white belt? Nobody. Everybody that does karate wants to go the whole journey. They want to go all the way down the gamut. And it's great for the dojo because the dojo is earning revenue off every single class that person comes to. You don't become a black belt overnight. And by the way, we all know that even if we're not in the karate world, we all know that when you become a black belt, you have achieved something great. Even non-karate people recognize the achievement. It is a massive increase in status for this person to go from white belt to black belt. And we don't say they have a black belt. We say they are a black belt. This is what we are missing in the gun world. We have nothing like this. And so to stop being guilty of selling just a class instead of a journey, what we need to do as instructors is we need to outline class 1. This is where our people are going to start. And then what is class 2? And then what is class 3? And then what is class 4? And then 5, 6, however many you want, okay? And there's a couple of key elements that we need to do in order to be successful at selling the journey. Number 1, we need to name the destination. So when you think about the black belt, that's a name of a destination. You're going to be a black belt someday. When we think about our firearm training, we also need to name our end result. Let's name our end result for this conversation, the Ultimate Protector. Okay, UP, Ultimate Protector. Ultimate Protector is just a name we can use, but you can call it whatever you want. Ultimate Defender, Rhode Island Concealed Carriers, Florida, carriers, Mother Defenders, Mom Defenders, whatever you want to call it, we need to name the destination. Then, instead of selling a class, we need to sell the entire journey. We need to sell the entire journey. What I mean by that is, in business, we have a metric called lifetime value. This is really important. LTV stands for lifetime value. And what this means is, what does your customer mean to your business over the course of 12 months? If you are giving a class for $100, which is a good starting point, if you have one student take one class, your lifetime value is $100. And for most of the instructors that I deal with as a coach, I'm a coach in the marketing world, I deal with coaches, I deal with instructors all over the country, and they have a big problem with people taking other classes. People just want one class. Part of that is that we're not selling the journey. Part of that is that we're not selling transformation. But at the end of the day, it is very difficult to get people to take a second class. And the problem for your business is that if your lifetime value is $100, so you're going to make $100 off of each customer for a year. If you want to make $500,000 a year, your path to get there is pretty simple. All you need to do is train 5,000 people. And if you train 5,000 people at $100, you make $500,000 a year. Well, when we're selling a class, that's our path, that's our destination, that's what we have to do. But when we sell the journey, instead of selling class 1 for $100, and class 2 for $100, and so on and so forth, what we should do is we should sell the entire journey. To become the Ultimate Protector or Ultimate Defender or whatever we call them, we should sell that entire journey for $997. And if we start selling that entire journey for $997, instead of $100, we are getting $997 per student. Now we only need to train 500 people a year, and we've made $500,000 a year. Double that number, and you've made double the revenue. So when I say that we are guilty of selling classes instead of a transformation, I want you to take that and apply that to say, I'm going to start focusing on my marketing language, that instead of come take my class because it's Saturday and because it's discounted, you're saying, come become XYZ, right? And by the way, the journey to get there is Saturday and there's a discount. And then the second thing is, instead of selling a class, we want to sell the entire journey to become the Ultimate Defender, the Ultimate Protector, the Carry Mom, whatever the case may be. If you're interested in working more on this in your business, I encourage you to pick up a copy of my book, The H30K Method. You can find it on Amazon or at the link underneath this video, or feel free to reach out to me and my team, and we can work one-on-one with your business and go through exactly what your business takes to grow. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.